Tonight, more proof that Q is very close to President Trump, and we have more mysterious photos to try to decode in this video. Hi, I'm Craig, and welcome to Just Informed Talk. For those of you who don't know, every one of these videos starts the exact same way. I say thank you to each and every one of my subscribers because I fully recognize that every one of you make this channel work. You make it successful, so without you guys, it wouldn't work. So if you have not hit that subscribe button already, please come and click the big red subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications. That way, as soon as these videos get posted, you'll be notified, because as soon as information is made available to me, I make it available to you. Now, jumping right into the latest Q post, we have a lot to cover. First, if you guys want to get caught up on where we are, where we have come from, basically, this right here is the last post that we covered. If you want to see that video, go back, watch this last video right here on the channel, and watch the last few videos if you want to get caught up to where we are to this point. Also, if you are scratching your head going, what's QAnon? I recommend you come watch this video here on the landing page. Even if you think you know a lot about QAnon already, trust me, there's some stuff in there that might help you if you want to get more involved with the research and all of that. So that is definitely a great tool and asset, and these are all here on the main landing page for the YouTube landing page. So if you guys want to get that information, go there and check it out. Now, we're going to look at these latest few posts. First, it's an ANON posting meme with President Trump standing next to Marine One, which is his private helicopter, basically. And it says hashtag QAnon. It's got Trump with the double fist. Good job. Love it. And it says, "I'm off to save the world. Aren't you coming?" And that's good. That's what he does, or is trying to do every day with a team of people. It's not just President Trump. Let's be honest. There's a great group of people that he has chosen to surround himself with, and we can't forget to give them credit. We can't forget to give military intelligence credit. We can't forget to give the good actors inside the DOJ, FBI, and other law enforcement agencies the credit that they deserve, because it's a collective effort. And I want to say that because, and I'm going to take a second to make this very clear, because I want this to be known. We're getting new people coming onto this movement every day, because the majority of people in our country are good, hardworking, honest, God-fearing patriots who want the best for our country. And as more people come into this movement, we have to be aware that it's going to take people on the inside of all of these organizations to band together and know that we're fighting this good fight. But we're going to do it through just means. We're going to use law. We're going to use the system in and of itself to properly conduct all investigations and go through all the right channels to make sure that this information is made available. We're uncovering here the globalist, pedophile, Luciferian, Satanist scumbags, and I hate to use those kind of pejoratives, the scumbag one, I should say, because it's lowbrow, but that is the way it is. If you're involved in that kind of stuff, that's categorically what my opinion of you would probably be, regardless of any mitigating circumstances. And that being said, I want to just remind everyone that if you're new to this and you're figuring this all out, go watch that Q video here. But also don't forget that we want everyone to come together. We don't like the division. And once we expose these people and the crimes that they've committed, I mean, everyone's jumping on because they know if this is the truth, which we're being presented by Q, and Q's obviously close to the president, and some of it's, obviously fiction is stranger than reality in this circumstance, because the narratives that we're being given are, of incredible crime, of incredible misdeeds. So that's what that is. And this is the proof that Q is near President Trump. And it's just a picture here of an iPhone picture. And when you kind of blow it up a little bit, it's the reflection off the back of an iPhone. Well, why is that important? Well, I guess that would be because of the particular location of this photo being taken. Now, after careful kind of analysis by a lot of the Anons out there, it's been basically determined that this picture was taken from inside of Air Force One. And it's a picture of the reflection of the back of an iPhone that would be reflecting the desk that President Trump sits at. And you'll see that more clearly in the next post, the next couple posts when we go through this further. But before we get into that, we'll just leave that where that is. Q telling us what to look at there, and giving us another proof that they're very close to the president. Quote, for years, schools worked alongside another Justice Department mainstay, David Margolis, who was known as the Yoda of the department. When Margolis died, DOJ brass asked schools to come back to Washington to try to fill those shoes. Divide they try, fail they will. Everything has meaning. Q. Now, this is all kind of referring back to what we've talked about in the previous episode. So this article right here, that's a quote from this article talking about how the Associate Deputy Attorney General, and this guy's kind of important when you think of the context of what shoes he would be filling, Scott Schools, has decided to resign. And we covered this in the last video. And the importance was basically that as the Associate Deputy Attorney General, he would be the one who would step into the place of the Deputy Attorney General, Rod Rosenstein, if he were to resign or recuse himself from overseeing the Russia investigation, overseeing the Mueller investigation. And what was important about this is that Q's talked about this before in previous posts, that the line of secession, or the line of succession, I should say, in the Department of Justice, after Sessions had recused himself from overseeing the Mueller investigation, and Rod Rosenstein had come into that position. Before that, it was Rachel Brand. She ended up stepping down. Now it apparently was Scott Schools, who, in another twist here, has resigned. And Q just said in the last post, conspiracy coincidence, add another to the list. The list of resignations, people who have to resign because of their complete guilt. And then they just run off to the private sector and just get a golden parachute and don't have to worry about anything. So it's sad. But what's being said here is that Q's trying to tell us everything has meaning. And when he told us before, right here, on June 30th, before that story broke, this story here was breaking, I think as early as yesterday, yeah. And when you take that and you look at what we've been told by Q on June 30th, divide they try, fail they will. And I even mentioned this in my video when I covered this post. I said, I'm not sure exactly what it means, but this definitely sounds like Yoda from Star Wars. Divide they try, fail they will. I mean, you guys can go back and watch the tape. I'm not going to go back and replay the tape, because for those of you who watch these videos, you'll remember that I clearly said that. And it wasn't a hard takeaway, really. But I'm kind of happy with the fact that I grabbed that and I picked up on it, because it just sounded like a weird phrasing. I said, basically, if you watch the video again, I think it's probably like 2 or 3 videos ago, I basically said, this sounds like Star Wars. It sounds like what Yoda would say. And that's basically it. So obviously Q was trying to send us a message there. So that's being pointed out to us, saying that everything has meaning. So I think a lot of people don't even know, when we read so much into what Q says, there's a reason, because there's always hidden meaning, hidden symbolism in everything, because that's how the information can be disseminated legally without violating any national security laws. If it's presented to us as riddles that are basically don't have any answer, then it's up to us to connect dots in our own minds, use our own critical thought, which is what I think the whole purpose of this is. It's trying to wake people up out of the trance they've been living in with the mainstream media brainwashing them, and culture and TV and your computer and your smartphone, all of that trying to basically lower IQs and make you into a zombie. That with that being what they do, then this is a great tactic. It makes us think, it makes us research, it makes us actually be awake, which is what they need in order for us to come together and expose this evil, right? The evil that exists all around us. When you think about what happened with the Clinton Foundation, what happened with the FBI and the DOJ allegedly being used by the Obama administration to spy on the Trump campaign. These kind of things are beyond the scope of what should ever be acceptable in any democracy. And if they are true, the things that are being alleged of doing between the Obamas and the Clintons and Comey, Rosenstein, McCabe, Clapper, Brennan, the things they're being accused of doing are treasonous. They're criminal. And they're a complete dereliction of their duties and their sworn uh, offices that they're sworn to protect and to uphold the Constitution and to work for the betterment of our country. Well, they've obviously just, thrown that right out the window. And we're just going to jump right into the next post, more proofs of Q. So Q is responding to these 3 ANON posts here. And that's what I'm pointing to these red numbers for. And in those 3 posts, we have this picture here, which we'll take a look at. And it kind of places that iPhone reflection image as an overlay with the lamp. And this is the executive office, President Trump's office on Air Force One, right? So it kind of gives us that overlay and shows us, oh, well, this is where that picture came from. Okay, very interesting. Then it says, and it's welcome aboard is a lie. Then this post says, this guy took a picture. It's saying, pic related, I just took this picture. I'm holding my wife Anon's iPhone 10 and taking a picture of the reflection on the back with my iPhone 7 Plus. Is this what Q is doing with Air Force One and previous partial president headshots, right? And this is labeled another Q proof, obviously. And it's this picture here. It's pretty interesting. I mean, you can see the detail, and it kind of looks very similar to how that picture, I guess, would have been taken in a sense, right? So that's something definitely to be looked at. And then you have this next one here where it just says, huh? And it has these pictures with the overlay in the presidential desk, which I think, again, is just another seeming proof. But, what's funny is that Q says it in the next one, and we'll talk about that, or says it here, and we'll talk about it in a second. But it says, who would have thought the Twitter phone could be so useful? Do reflections violate national security rules? Where must one be located in order to obtain a reflection on the back of a phone of that image? Image provided has been distorted, stretched. Q saying, first of all, this is a picture taken of the reflection of the back of the phone that President Trump uses to do his tweeting and his Twitter, kind of his personal phone. One reason why that's important is pretty obvious. Everything that President Trump does on Twitter has a big impact on the world at large. And for somebody to be having access to President Trump in his office, taking a picture of his phone with a reflection of the lamp that is in the executive office of the executive office of Air Force One, that's telling us a lot. That's telling us just another proof that this person is close to Q, or close to President Trump, and that there is definitely being this information being given. And look, we're exposing literally. This is not a LARP. This is not a game. There is evil globalists who get in and do these crazy activities where they practice Satanism, they practice Luciferianism, they practice awful things with children. They're engaged in a global human trafficking syndicates, and we're cleaning house. And these people have infiltrated our government, and President Trump with Q has been exposing it little by little. And there's a million different players with a million different motives, but we're starting somewhere. We're starting with somebody who's going to push us in the right direction. He's saying, here in the tweet, actually, it's saying that do reflections violate national security rules? So there are national security rules where it wouldn't be that. That's why Q can't just come out and say this person's guilty of this crime, because there's national security laws. You can't expose certain information. There's classified protocols. There's different investigations that could be ongoing, that could be undermined by releasing that information. Even if the president chose to declassify the information just before releasing it, there could be other ramifications to ongoing investigations and so on and so forth, that it just makes complete sense that this is why they're doing it this way, because they have to have some counter to the mainstream media brainwash cycle that goes on every day. And obviously, we talked about where that picture was taken from. It says where you have to be to get that picture, basically. And it's saying image just provided has been distorted, stretched. So that would explain why the lamp's wider here and thinner here. So going into the next one, very interesting, right? We went through all those. Now the next one is obviously a shill or somebody who's very upset about the outcome of the election with their just trolling all over 8chan, and this is one of the 8chan anons there saying shills going nuts tonight. Something huge must be coming this week. Several months late on whining about Iran. Back to spamming LARP. Boomer schizo. From the 4chan days, sad. All right, so what it's saying there is if you're on the 8chan boards a lot, you'll see that when certain pieces of information come out, the trolling and the shilling gets really big. And for those of you who don't know what those terms are, they basically just represent people who purposefully try to throw a wrench in things, purposefully go into a forum and say anything, really. It could be racist, it could be pornographic, it could be a whole multitude of different things, but they go in there and they try to get this crazy point across, and they try to say Q's fake and all this stuff. That's basically what they're doing. But Q responds saying, trolling is fun. Hussein Trump interior equals identical minus small changes. World news in rear literally placed same prior to each departure. Placing that mug holder near the lamp was the hook. Q, or enjoy Q. And what he's obviously talking about there is this here. You can see, you can almost make out that the mug holder, it's like a napkin holder there, is slid up against that lamp, and the box, it looks like a box of papers, maybe a box of tissues, like that. But that's pushed up against the lamp too, to kind of include it, to say it's kind of hard to, you can almost even make out in this picture his jacket with the insignia on it, the little patch here. I mean, I don't know if you guys can see that, but that could even be the corner of the chair. You could see maybe even the outline of President Trump's, or the chair, or his head, I'm not sure. But that does look like it could be that patch right here, right? So wouldn't that be interesting? But they just keep doubting. They keep denying it because they don't want to ask the question, because they don't want to open Pandora's box, because they know they'll never get it closed if they expose the evil that really exists in the world, in the elite classes. The people who try to control you and me here on the ground, working our hardest every day to take care of our family and to love God and to contribute in our communities and try to be good people, pay our taxes, go to church, just live a good life. And they're the ones trying to suck us dry from the top, and that's what we're trying to expose here. Now, the next one is interesting. There's a mystery about this. I haven't figured out the mystery yet. Just going to give you a heads up on that. But there's a lot of speculation I've been reading, so I'll share some of the speculation with you. First of all, we have what would appear to be a United airplane. Upon closer examination, you can see that it is clearly a United craft. What's interesting to me is somebody pointed out, one of the Anons pointed out on one of the boards, that this appears to be a 747. You can tell with that humpback right there with the upper level. And what the Anon was pointing out was that the fact that 747s don't fly domestic flights anymore in the United States, that I think stopped back in 2017 as far as I've heard, which I thought was an interesting fact, but apparently that may be true. And if that is true, then this is definitely an international flight, which makes it interesting to look at what Q posts in the next one. In the next one, responding to the picture that Q just posted, he puts this picture. Now, this picture is pretty interesting. First of all, let's hear what Q has to say. He says, "Who do you see, Q?" Now, I've been scratching my head at this. There's a lot of guesses, right? Everything from Vladimir Putin to Prince Harry or Prince William. But I can't tell you who it is yet. I've tried zooming in, looking at it. I can tell you who it kind of resembles, but After that, it's going to be up for you guys to kind of decide for yourself. But I think it's this taller gentleman who has the khaki slacks and the blue shirt on here. He looks like a interesting individual. Now, that's the best I can zoom in for you guys, but you can see if you're looking at this picture that with the bald head and the kind of the skin color and the stature, this could be Prince Harry. I don't know. I thought it was funny when somebody said Putin, because there's no way Putin would be walking around in Hong Kong with no security detail and nobody noticing, really. That would be pretty much impossible. But when I considered the possibility of being someone like, I don't know, Prince William or whoever, it seemed like it wouldn't be too far-fetched. Now, that's not to say that that is me giving you an identification of who this individual is. If you guys have any thoughts on who this might be, please leave them down in the comments. I'm sure it's going to be coming up soon. And you're asking, how do I know this is Hong Kong? I believe I mentioned that. Well, the thing says, the name of the picture is United Hong Kong, and then it would seem to say Identity T3902. Is that a flight code? Obviously it is Hong Kong. If you look at the landmarks in this picture, it's fairly obvious that it is Hong Kong, because all you have to do is go look up what this is, the Western Pacific Kindergarten, and yeah, you can go look that up, and it kind of shows you the pictures. So I don't know what's going on in Hong Kong, but I think we can all rest assured that we're going to learn more about this in the near future. So if you want to learn more, just stay tuned, and we're going to break it down as soon as it becomes available. But if you have your own thoughts, please leave them down in the comments so we can talk about them and discuss what that is. Now, a few things I want to go over here that I thought were important to cover. They stood out to me as interesting and thought-provoking, noteworthy, if you will. Donald Trump's latest tweet saying, "Wow, the NSA has deleted 685 million phone calls and text messages. Privacy violations? They blame technical irregularities. Such a disgrace. The witch hunt continues." Now, this was something that Q actually was contradicted, it would seem, because Q told us in response to this, here back on July 1st, as an ANON posted that same article basically, or that same story, and saying NSA deleted 685 million call records. Q did that include HRC, McCabe, Stroke, Page, Rosenstein calls during the NSA. Q says you delete what you no longer need, you save what you do need. Q. So the implication there is that, and I said this before, it's good that they're getting rid of that dragnet, or getting rid of that information they collected in the dragnet, because they don't need your great grandmother's phone calls discussing their backgammon games. I mean, to be quite honest, and they don't need your significant other's phone call to Domino's at midnight to get a pizza. I mean, the reality is that there's probably a lot in there that gets picked up through that could just be thrown away, and it probably is better, because then with the way that data mining and data aggregation has become big business in the United States, you can actually wield a lot of power by owning the information about people who are in, and what they do and how they do it, because you can sell that to advertisers, and it's used by most big companies in all types of ways to advertise to you, and most people don't even realize that. So back to the post here by President Trump. What could be going on here? Well, one of you guys out there, one of the people who I respect, one of the people following me, I presume, on social media, writes this. This guy, David W. Lowe Books. He says, guys, tweeting to me and a few other people, this tweet makes no sense based on what Q recently posted regarding deleting the ones not needed and keeping the ones needed. Also, the tweet makes no sense given POTUS' supposed relationship with Admiral Rogers. Care to explain? Well, David, I think that this wraps it up pretty much in a nutshell here. Little Captain Picard clap for us for figuring this out so quickly. I'm just kidding. It says, David, and I said this back to David, The same thought occurred to me initially, but don't forget, some disinformation necessary. Think Trump tweets on Sessions. God bless. Where we go one, we go all. QAnon. And I think that that's true. I think that's my personal take on it. I think, look at the way that President Trump derides Sessions, saying, "Oh, if I knew he was going to recuse, oh, I would never have hired you, Sessions. You darn kid." Just that's my best kind of grumpy old man impersonation, right? But so he says that to Sessions in order to, as I've said before, it takes a lot of the fire off of Sessions. The media, if they were best friends, right? If President Trump was best friends with the head of the Department of Justice, the U.S. Attorney General, that could spell in and of itself, or could lead to weeks, if not months, if not years, of reports from reporters saying how much that he's corrupt. They would have tried to get him out within the first week. They would have said that President Trump's co-opted the Department of Justice in his scheme to become the next dictator, as they will write in pretty much any story they put out there these days, that everything he's doing is for him to become some kind of dictator, which is just nonsense. But that's exactly what the thought that had occurred to me is. It's the same kind of this faux adversarial relationship that actually just shows the character of President Trump, because he's putting himself on that kind of metaphorical firing block for the media to come after him with story after story after story, like we're going to talk about here in the next one, where President Trump actually tweets, he misspells one word and it becomes an actual story. Isn't that incredible? No, this is really great. Here's President Trump's tweet saying, after having written many best-selling books and somewhat priding myself on my ability to write, it should be noted that the fake news constantly likes to pour over my tweets looking for a mistake. I capitalize certain words only for emphasis, not because they should be capitalized. This is a direct shout out to the Anons, because the post has been deleted, but he had two posts President Trump did, and I have the graphic. Maybe I'll throw that on Twitter after the video here. But he at one point had two tweets posted to his Twitter feed, and one had this word written as pour, P-O-U-R, and the other had it written later corrected to say pour. Now, pouring, if you read, it's like to read over with the R-E. U-R is like pour a glass of water, right? So those are the basic difference. But in doing that, he actually says this statement here: I capitalize certain words only for emphasis, not because they should be capitalized. So he's basically saying on the top level, oh, well, I only do it to emphasize words. But there's definitely an implication there that he knows when he's capitalizing. He knows when he's doing it. And the way that he says that he's capitalizing for emphasis, well, obviously he misspelled this word for emphasis, people. And it's so glaringly obvious that it goes right over the head of the mainstream media, and they start writing reports about how President Trump doesn't know the difference between poor and poor. I mean, it amazes me. And then there's even whole stories about all of his mistakes. And first of all, everyone's going to have a typo here and there. Let's be quite honest. And nobody out there, I would, venture a guess to say would claim that they've never made a typo on a tweet or on a paper or on a, whatever, a text message. So it's the same principle. These guys want to make mountains out of molehills, anything to make President Trump look bad. And now this whole thing over in Saudi Arabia, it's great. Let's give credit to Michael ST2256 over on Reddit, on the Great Awakening board. But he put this graphic together and presented it. I don't know if he put it together, but he definitely brought it to the Reddit boards. And here's just a great example of how great President Trump trolls the media every day. It says, "Do you not believe we are winning?" POTUS asks Saudi Arabia to increase oil production. First off, the tweet, the lie, the result. And it's saying, Donald Trump's tweet from June 30th saying, just spoke to King Salman of Saudi Arabia and explained to him that because of the turmoil and dysfunction in Iran and Venezuela, I'm asking that Saudi Arabia increase oil production maybe up to 2 million barrels to make up the difference. Price is too high, he has agreed. Then The next one says the CNBC article comes out 2 days later, basically saying you cannot order 2 million barrels like ordering a coffee. Trump, what's wrong with you? Trump criticized for asking Saudi Arabia to raise oil output, and then the story comes out the next day that Saudis agreed to put more oil out, just like President Trump said in his tweet. So there you go. I mean, if you just want more proof that they just outright lie, or they don't even. In this case, it's more like a distortion of the truth. Um, it's just sad, and we see right through it. So I just always love pointing those little things out because I think that they add up and they make a good case for why we are here in the first place. But that's pretty much gonna do for new Q posts at this moment. But if you're looking for a way to contribute and help out the channel, listen, the best way to do it is to come here to this landing page. If you have not hit the subscribe button already, please come click the big red subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications. It costs you nothing. It helps me out big time. It's like throwing me a buck. I really appreciate it. So come and do that if you want to help out the channel, and it's free to you and it's great. The second best way, scroll down at the end of this video. Leave your thoughts, theories, and insights in the comments because, like I say, every one of these videos ends with us trying to have a good discussion. There's so many great people. We have thousands, tens of thousands of comments. I mean, who knows? At this point, maybe we're in the 100,000 plus range of comments in aggregate over all these videos. But we have great people. Everyone shows up. We have great conversation. And we don't just talk about the Q posts. We talk about what's going on in the news. We talk about how it all correlates, and we talk about things that maybe Q should cover. We talk about things the news doesn't cover. It's just a great dialogue, great people, great patriots. And I encourage you all to scroll down and leave your thoughts, theories, and insights in the comments. But even if you can't leave a comment, go through and read all the comments. I guarantee you're going to learn something you didn't know before you started here. Now, got some great news regarding if you're trying to help the channel out financially. If you guys want to help, there's this new GoFundMe that I have going, and we're getting really close to hitting that goal. It's to launch justinformednews.com. I got to tell you guys, I'm working with some great people. You guys are going to be really impressed when I get this site up and going because I have been reached out to by some pretty cool, interesting characters who are great at what they do, who are going to help me build this website so it's just completely optimized to be user-friendly and help you guys to come and get the information so you can not just go get my videos, but I'm going to try to do links to articles, and we'll try to design it in a way that's really user-friendly and that helps you guys out. So if you want to contribute to that, we're almost at the goal that I've set, and I want to break through that goal and get as much funding behind this as I can because it's going to cost money to of course, keep this going. But we're so close. In 3 weeks, we've gotten over 75% of the way there. So if you guys want to put us over the top, come here to gofundme.com/justinformedtalk and make your contribution. It's going to make a huge difference. And thank you to everybody who's making all these great contributions. You guys, thank you. You guys really make a difference. Now, if you're also looking to contribute to the channel financially, the channel itself, Patreon is what drives this channel. So if you get involved over here at Patreon, it's patreon.com/justinformedtalk or search justinformedtalk. And when you come here to this landing page, you're going to go ahead and click this button to become a patron. And I can tell you guys right now that this is how I get around all the censorship, what happens at YouTube, all that. You guys fund this channel. You make it so I can do this 24/7, 365. I never take a day off, barely. If it is, it seems like it's less than 24 hours that I'll actually end up getting to take off before I have to do more work. But I don't care about that. This is what helps me keep going. So thank you, everybody who comes here. Thank you in advance for coming to patreon.com. That's patreon.com. Search Just For Talk, and you can make a contribution by clicking this button. So thank you in advance to everybody who comes and checks that out. Now, one more thing I want to share is the American Priority Conference, which is coming up very, very soon. It's going to come up quicker than you think. We're looking at that in September 6th through 8th. We have the American Priority Conference where people like Jack Posobiec, Mike Cernovich, and I think Roger Stone, maybe Ann Coulter. There's going to be some great people there. But you go, and it's September 6th through 8th in Washington, D.C. I've been asked to speak on a panel, in a panel discussion there. And it's going to be a great time. So if you guys want to get involved, I encourage you all to come here to AmericanPriority.com/attend, and I have a coupon code if you want a discount for your ticket to the event. Go ahead and use the discount code WWG1WGA. Again, that's WWG, the number 1, WGA, as in where we go one, we go all, because that is our motto here, and it's what's going to get you a good discount. If you want to come attend this conference, you can meet me in person and meet a whole bunch of other great people in person. So I just got to throw that out there. And another thing, I just want to take 1 second and recognize the men and women all across this country who are celebrating the 4th of July today. I stand with you guys. And I want to share this quote from Thomas Paine with you guys, talking about that freedom that we are so blessed to have. It says, those who expect to reap the blessings of freedom must, like men, undergo the fatigue of supporting it. Thomas Paine. So just remember out there, as you're celebrating this 4th of July with your family and friends and having a great time, having a barbecue, doing whatever you do, just remember that everything that we have here in our country was fought for and paid for with the blood and lives of American patriots who knew that supporting this great country and making sure that it remains a great country would never be an easy task. So count your blessings and remind yourself that it is only right that we continue to fight against evil for our great republic. So happy 4th of July. I hope you guys have a wonderful time. Before we go, I want to talk about the most important thing, God and God's grace. So I have this great piece of scripture picked out because I was just reading through Psalms. It's probably one of my favorite books in the Bible. And I was reading this great psalm. It was Psalm 103. And it talks about the forgiving God. And why is that important? Well, we all have to keep forgiveness in our hearts. We have to keep that love of God in our hearts. We have to keep that power that is God within us, because without it, we lose what makes us truly special and unique and children of God, because it's easy to condemn. It's much harder to forgive. And let's talk about the forgiving God. I'm going to read the first few verses here, verses 1 through 12. It says, my soul, praise the Lord, and all that is within me, praise his holy name. My soul, praise the Lord, and do not forget all his benefits. He forgives all your sin. He heals all your diseases. He redeems your life from the pit. He crowns you with faithful love and compassion. He satisfies you with goodness. Your youth is renewed like an eagle. The Lord executes acts of righteousness and justice for all the oppressed. He revealed his ways to Moses, his deeds to the people of Israel. The Lord is compassionate and gracious, slow to anger and full of faithful love. He will not always accuse us or be angry forever. He has not dealt with us as our sins deserve or repaid us according to our offenses. For as high as the heavens are above the earth, so great is his faithful love toward those who fear him. As far as the east is from the west, so far has he removed our transgressions from us. That's the greatness of God. That's the glory of God. That's the forgiveness of God. That's what we need to remember when we live our lives. And I'm just as imperfect as everyone else out there is. You know, I make mistakes and I'm quick to judge. You know, I have all types of flaws. But in recognizing those flaws, I recognize the beauty of God's forgiveness and the amazing greatness of it. Think about it. What that all just laid out was that although we should be punished for our sins and we should suffer for these things that we've done wrong, that if we're faithful to God and we're honest in our faith and we're genuinely come to God and ask for forgiveness, that not only will he forgive us, but his endless love is so abounding that he'll restore us, and he can make us better, and he can make us live a life that is worthy of him. But it's only through having humility. It's only through seeking forgiveness. It's only through contemplative prayer and meditation. It's only through looking inside yourself and seeing, what really makes what is really important, I guess I should say, because God will lay all of those things out for you if you ask. And the one thing that I think is so true that so many people don't really realize is that you can, all it takes is asking, and you'd be surprised at how far that will get you in life, because most people are afraid to ask. Now, it could be for anything. You could be asking for a job, or you could be asking for a date, or you could be asking for, the winning lottery tickets. I don't know. Whatever it is, right? And some of those things, you're going to get told no. People are going to say no to you. That's a part of life. But you know who will never say no? God. As long as you're faithful and you're true to Him, and you're true to the teachings of the Bible and what teachings He has for you through His Word, and you're not out to commit evil, God loves you. He has full faith in you. And even if you have lost your way, there's still a chance. Come back to the Lord. We need you. And just remember that everything we do is a gift from God, because God loves us, because God knows we're imperfect. And even in our imperfection, by seeking redemption through asking for forgiveness, God can make us into incredible beings. So just remember that. If you don't take anything else away, God absolutely loves you. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. That's pretty much going to wrap it up for this one until the next time Q posts, which we will keep an eye on. But that's going to wrap it up. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, now's a great time to do it. Come here to the landing page, click the big red subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell for notifications. But that's going to be it for me. I want to say thank you again for watching. Also, I almost forgot, don't forget to come follow me on Twitter, at Justin_formed on Twitter. Give me a follow. That helps me out big time. So that's going to wrap it up. I want to say thank you. Everyone have a great night. Have a great 4th of July. Stay safe. Don't drink and drive. Party hard. Have a great grill out. Light some fireworks. Have a great time. And God bless each and every one of you. But that's going to be it. This has been Just Informed Talk. My name is Craig. Godspeed. And God bless each and every one of you, Patriots.